Hello everyone, my name is Alan. In this video, I'm going to review Veloren. It is available for Windows, macOS, and Linux. This video review is requested by Forrest AngelOnFira Anderson, one of the developers of Veloren. He introduced me to the game and the Rust programming language. Veloren is a fantasy, open world, and voxel role-playing game with single-player and multiplayer modes. This game is free and open source, licensed under the GNU General Public License 3. At the time of this writing, Veloren is in the pre-alpha version 0.13. Veloren takes inspiration from many games such as Cube World, Minecraft, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Dwarf Fortress. I gathered footage from various builds of the game on my Linux computer. Many people enjoy playing Veloren. It is a fun fantasy game with many things to do and places to explore. In this video, I'll be discussing Veloren and touching on the Rust programming language a bit. I will see how the game stands as an open source game created in Rust. First, let's go over some components of the game, Airshipper and Voxygen. Airshipper is the Veloren launcher. Airshipper is used to download updates and show Veloren news. The user interface looks good. There are advanced options to add environmental variables. Environmental variables are variables that describe the game environment, and they affect the game behavior. In the advanced options, you can select your graphics mode, server, and log levels with drop-down menus. I leave the events options to their default settings. Airshipper is easy to install from Veloren's website and Linux software centers. Voxygen is a user-friendly and intuitive 3D front-end client. Voxygen supports input from gamepad controllers. In addition, Voxygen has several experimental shaders. I haven't messed around with Veloren on an Xbox One controller. Veloren does not have full controller support yet. Veloren, Voxygen, and Airshipper are created with the Rust programming language, a multi-paradigm systems programming language, and it can be used to develop many applications, such as games and websites. With Rust, Veloren benefits from memory and thread safety inherent in Rust. From my experiences, Rust is an interesting and great programming language. It is used in many companies and projects. In the description below, I added a Rust Discord server and Rust book for you to look at. In addition, the Rust compiler is easy to install on Linux, macOS, Raspberry Pi, and Windows. On Windows, just run rustup.init.exe to install. On all platforms, you can install Visual Studio Code and add the Rust extensions to get started with Rust development. The Rust compiler is not required to get the game up and running. On Windows 10, you can install an executable. On Linux, you can install Airshipper through the Software Center or the download page on the Veloren site. The Veloren site is found in the description below. Veloren is being developed in the Rust programming language. Rust gives many benefits to the development of Veloren. This allows a wide range of bugs to not be possible while developing in Veloren. This also means that reviewing code from new contributors doesn't need to include certain checks about if their code will crash the game. Memory safety also extends to thread safety. This allows Veloren to make use of multi-core CPUs both on the client and server. Veloren's main game server has seen 195 players online at the same time as its peak, and that record is set to be broken during the next release party. This is possible because the game server runs on a 32-thread server and can distribute lots of the work across threads very well. Veloren also benefits from the entity component system paradigm that is popular in lots of Rust games. This allows Veloren to have tens of thousands of entities around the world that are interacting with one another. Veloren is working to have complex systems working in the background, inspired by Dwarf Fortress. This includes real-time simulation of NPCs so they have a purpose in the world, and also economic simulations that affect the prices the merchants offer their goods for. Rust is used to build Veloren from the ground up. Veloren is not built with a game engine. Instead, Veloren is a game engine. The Rust game development ecosystem is young. With Rust, developers can create experimental games. There are Rust libraries and tools to help develop games such as OpenVR, the Building Blocks tool, and the Bevy game engine. Veloren mods will be created with Rust and other programming languages. Rust makes modding easier since it can interface with the type system better. The mods will compile down to WASM. Currently, the mods are still in development. With the Rust programming language out of the way, let's take a closer look at Veloren. On a high-end computer, I can play the game at 1080p and 60 frames per second with high-quality graphics. I can record the game in windowed mode without screen tearing. When I played the game with full screen, I experienced some screen tearing when recording this game with OBS. With simple screen recorder, I did not experience screen tearing. I can move the camera and cursor smoothly with a PS2 or USB mouse. In addition, with a Microsoft USB to PS2 mouse adapter, I can move the camera smoothly. On Linux, I cannot find a way to run this game with Pharaoh Game Mode. Pharaoh Game Mode is a daemon library combo used to optimize Linux system performance. On the Steam Deck, Veloren runs well at default and lower settings. Unfortunately, I don't have a Steam Deck to test the game. The graphics are great. Veloren uses Vulkan and WGPU to render the graphics. The models are created with Magica Voxel. The blocky models and characters look good. The particle effects look nice. The lighting effects look good. I love the rendering of the water on the shiny option. It looks like real water. The places feel alive with animals, travelers, and villagers. The user interface looks good. Icons look great. The weapon and gliding trails look nice. The smoke looks blocky and good. The dynamic weather effects look simple and nice. The houses are simple. They look like a real home. Sometimes the furniture can block the entrances of stairs and doors. Personally, I don't find this annoying. I can move my character around the furniture easily. The world and views look amazing. The villages are great and active. It feels like I am at home. I did not find any differences between the villages other than the layouts. The sky looks great at medium and high settings. The northern lights look accurate to their real-life counterparts. The sunrise and sunset look good. The user interface is nice and well organized. On the startup screen, I find it inconvenient that I cannot access the settings first. First, I had to start a single-player game. Then I adjust and test settings. The settings menu looks nice. I like how I can use a slider to adjust the field of view, mouse sensitivity, and view distances. I don't like the lighting on my lantern from the first-person perspective. I feel like the glare covers up my view. The player can adjust the camera by zooming in and out. The camera can be zoomed out, and it can be hard to see the player model, but the entire world. Personally, I like playing in first and third person views. I can see the player model in the third person view, so I know where I am going. In first person view, I feel immersed in the beautiful open world. The HUD looks nice and organized. It can be turned off with a key binding. Overall, the voxel graphics remind me of games such as Minecraft and Trove. The graphics are well made. The music and sound effects are made with external programs. The sound design is great. I like how the music is calm. It matches the theme of fantasy. The sound effects are great. There are no voices in the game. The music is found on SoundCloud and YouTube. The music is free to use. Some songs have a Creative Commons license. Next, I am going to be talking about the single player and multiplayer gameplay. First, you can customize your character. The character creator offers many choices to create your character. You can customize your character's species, gender, eye colors, skin, and hair. You can select a weapon for your character. In addition, you can name your character. In the game, you can craft and find clothing and items for your character. Overall, I like the character creator. It works well and offers many possibilities. Then, you will enter a beautiful village, savanna, or forest with many villagers, travelers, merchants, and animals. The map size is finite. From my experience, the villagers, travelers, and merchants are friendly unless you attack them. You can trade with some merchants. When I talk to the villagers and travelers, they say simple things I find in small talks. Unfortunately, I cannot trade with the travelers and villagers. From my experience, they decline trading. The conversations are shallow. You go up to villagers and meet travelers to talk with them. They say simple things such as the weather is nice and they're not willing to trade. Personally, I like the dialogue. They feel like normal human interactions. I haven't stumbled upon bad and cringy dialogue. Rest assured, the dialogue does not contain profanity or inappropriate language. The villagers, guards, travelers, and merchants do not have any personality nor character. They feel like cardboard cutouts. At least with the merchants, I can trade with them. The travelers are more interesting. They go on adventures. They are strong. Travelers are easy to find when I explore the area. Some have armor that glows in the dark. There is no story in Veloren. The majority of the time, you go out in the world and explore villages, forests, savannas, and caves. In addition, you can craft materials, hunt animals, and fight trolls. There is no ending in Veloren. Players crouch, run, roll, jump, swim, and wall climb to explore the area. The movement feels smooth and great. I like rolling so I can move faster and dodge attacks. The rolling animations feel smooth and responsive. When a player crouches, they move slowly. Crouching helps the player sneak around corners and take cover. When I crouch in the first-person view, I do not feel any feedback that I am crouching. There is no option to hold crouching with a key. Instead, crouching is toggled. Wall climbing is good. You can climb over blocks in trees and walls. Wall climbing takes some practice. I find wall climbing easier in the third-person view. You can climb up and down walls. Players can practice wall climbing on houses and vertical surfaces. Wall climbing and rolling takes energy. When a player has no energy, they cannot wall climb or roll. When the player hits 0 energy in wall climbing, the player falls. Over time, energy can be generated. Energy does not regenerate when I collect items from crates or on the ground. In my opinion, non-regenerating energy during collection is a bug instead of a feature. The glider is a neat feature. I never experienced gliding in other games I played. From my experience, it works well. The glider is useful for landing in areas, moving in the air, and reducing fall damage. Later on in the game, you can craft gliders. The gliders perform the same. From my experience, gliding takes some practice. The starting glider is good. It looks like it is made out of leaves. Swimming in Veloren is fun. From the first-person perspective, it looks like I am walking on water. The player can swim underwater. There is no time limit on how long the player can stay underwater. The bow is fun to use. The bow behaves just like in real life, where you pull back the string and let the arrow fly. The arrow moves in an arch-based pattern whether you are underwater or not. The alternate fire is to shoot multiple arrows quickly. There are no fire and poison arrows in Veloren. The fire staff allows users to attack enemies and the world with fire. A primary fireball attack destroys enemies and terrain. The secondary attack allows the user to shoot flame particles. The secondary attack does not burn the terrain. From testing the fire staff, the fireball attack is ineffective underwater. Using the fire staff to destroy terrain and burn enemies is satisfying. The melee weapons such as gladius, scepters, hammers, and axes are fun to use. They are great for close quarters combat. The starting weapons are bad and weak. Later on in the game, you acquire better weapons by trading or upgrading them. The crafting system is great. You can create items and materials. The crafting centers look nice and organized. In addition, there is a campfire as a waypoint and a place to regenerate health slowly. I find scavenging for items boring. I don't feel like I'm going on an adventure. I find items in houses, caves, and forests. Once you get items, you can use them for trading and crafting. In the settings, Veloren allows you to view hitboxes and debug information. I find the hitboxes to be useful for debugging and testing. With debug info, I can analyze performance on various computers. Playing with hitboxes is distracting. One missing feature is sleeping. In games like The Sims and Minecraft, the players and NPCs sleep in beds. Although beds appear in the games, there is not much I can do with them. At least I can sit and stand on them. The player cannot bounce on them like a trampoline. Sometimes the bosses and animals will attack and ambush you. I find this annoying when you don't have good gear. When you die, you don't lose all your items. I feel like this game is punishing me for exploring. Another infuriating part is when you drop items. Sometimes the NPCs will take the item away from you. It feels like I worked hard just for nothing. The artificial intelligence for the enemies is good. The aggressive mobs, such as wolves and bears, attack you aggressively on the land. Sometimes the mobs just stand there doing nothing. This happens when they enter the water. Veloren allows players to mine for metals with a pickaxe. The majority of the time, you go to a metal ore or a block of rocks with a pickaxe. Then you destroy the blocks of rocks or ore. With the ore, you can get metals such as copper and tin. Mining the ores is rewarding because the player gets metal. Mining a bunch of rocks is restrictive and boring solely with a pickaxe. From my experience, mining in Minecraft has more freedom than this. The player can break blocks anywhere. Another part of the single player is spectating the world. The camera moves smoothly. The world looks beautiful and nice. Going below ground into the caves feels smooth. Voxel models pop up when I move to new locations. Creating an account in Veloren is free. Unfortunately, there is no way to change or reset your password. According to the Veloren Discord server, there are many servers you can join in many regions. The servers are created with SQLite and Rust. Veloren servers can be hosted on any computer, such as an old computer or a Raspberry Pi. According to the documentation, the developers recommend a Raspberry Pi Model 4. The amount of RAM used by a Veloren server on a Pi 4 is negligible. I do not host servers with Raspberry Pis or an old computer. I do not have any plans to host a public Veloren server. Some Veloren multiplayer servers provide the same experience as the single player mode. Some servers provide player versus player battles. From my experience, the multiplayer servers are great. Overall, the Veloren gameplay has fun moments. I find it interesting to mess around with the features of the game. I find the gameplay loop to be repetitive and boring. I did not progress a lot in the game. I feel like it takes a long time to get better gear. From my experiences, the Veloren Discord community is kind, active, and friendly. The developers are very helpful and kind. The Veloren documentation and wiki are well written and helpful. The Veloren Discord servers host events. In addition, there are many Veloren Discord communities dedicated to custom servers. These communities have their own games and custom game modes. On Stack Overflow and various websites, I found answers that helped me learn about Rust. There are many Discord servers dedicated to Rust projects, crates, and ecosystems. Several are official servers like the Rust programming language or game development in Rust, and others are oriented to projects like Bevy Engine or CQL. These servers are often a place for the development of these projects, as well as a place for people to ask questions. Many servers have a code of conduct, so that they are more inclusive and a safe space. In addition, there are other servers such as programming and low levels systems programming, where you can discuss and get help with Rust. Rest assured, the servers are safe for work. Occasionally, you may read some swearing. The moderators are friendly. The users are kind and helpful. I am not going to make video reviews on these communities. I do not make video reviews on Discord servers. I definitely recommend users check out the Veloren and Rust servers. The links are in the description down below. Note that the server list is not exhaustive. The blog and website are created with the Rust programming language. The template engine is Zola. The manual is created with MDBook. In my opinion, the blog, manual, website, and wiki are well organized. They look good. From my Google Lighthouse tests, the websites are accessible and high performing. The websites load fast. The text is easy to understand and gave me a better idea of Veloren. In addition, the figures look nice. I learned a lot about the technologies, gameplay, and content of Veloren. The documentation and website helped me create this video review. From testing, the blog, manual, and websites are mobile friendly. The websites load fast for me on Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge, and Google Chrome. Overall, I like Veloren. I like the world they created and the items you can use. Unfortunately, the world holds itself back by punishing players for exploring. During exploration, a mob or boss more powerful than my equipment can ambush and kill you. Scavenging items and mining blocks are boring and repetitive tasks. Some features are missing from the game. The game has charm and beautiful graphics. The game is easy to run and well optimized. The resources such as documentation, Discord servers, and wiki are great. I will give Veloren a 6 out of 10. Rust is an interesting and useful multi-paradigm programming language. The Rust compiler is available on Windows, macOS, and Linux. Stack Overflow documentation documentation, and Discord servers are great resources. With my low-level programming and functional programming knowledge, I can easily learn Rust. From my experiences learning and programming in Rust, I'll give Rust an 8 out of 10. In conclusion, I enjoyed my time learning about the Rust programming language. I like playing Veloren, but the game has punishing and tedious moments. I want to thank Forrest Anderson and the Veloren Discord server for helping me make this video. I want to thank the Veloren server for providing me with the answers to create this video. During the summer of Rust, I'm grateful to learn about the Rust programming language so I can make this video. Thank you for watching my video. I'll be talking more about Legos, video games, and technologies in new videos. So hit the red subscribe button and turn on the bell icon to be notified of any new review videos. In the future, I will revisit Veloren.